Hi, what's up everyone? Sidorus here. I just wanted to do a quick video talking about the status of this channel and what I hope to accomplish for this channel going forward. I was surprised to see that this channel has been gaining subscribers over the past few months, considering I haven't really been sharing the videos anywhere or actively trying to promote it. In fact, the only notable place that I did share this channel where I got a lot of attention was on the capitalism subreddit. I was really surprised and pleased at the same time to see that that post got upvoted almost to the very top of the subreddit. So I'm very thankful to everyone who upvoted that to get this channel some much needed PR. As I've mentioned before, if this channel does gain subscribers, I will make more videos. But that being said, I did have some video topics that I wanted to talk about. In fact, I had an Excel sheet with maybe about 10 different ideas that I wanted to do videos on. But there's just a couple things that have been holding me back. The first thing is that I recently suffered a massive hard drive crash, which regrettably has corrupted a lot of my early drafts. The second thing is that I've been really busy with another project. I, as well as my girlfriend, have been working on a web-based video game, and it's actually online right now and it's free to play. And if you're a gamer, you should check it out. The name of the game is saucers.space, and you can just type that into your web browser in the URL and play the game that I put together over the past few months. We've done a lot of work in a very short amount of time, and we're going to be doing a Kickstarter for that soon. Just last night, I finished a major milestone for the project, and I've completed the trailer for the game. And I'll post a link in the video description for where you can go view the trailer. I think it's a very beautifully done video. In fact, I would say it's one of my best video creations. Now that I'm done with that, I can come back and make a much needed update for this channel. And while I'm on the topic of video games, I might as well just talk about how some of my knowledge in economics has helped me with the development of this game and how it is going to help me sell this game. You know, I talk a lot about politics on this channel, but economics is not about politics. But unfortunately, politics tends to make itself about economics. But if you've watched my videos, you'll know that I am a purist when it comes to economics. I am not a conservative or a liberal. I am not a Republican or a Democrat. I believe in liberty and I believe in the free market. And just to prove that this is not a political channel, this would be a really great topic to kind of take the emphasis away from, oh, you know, the usual government meddling in the free market. But we'll get back to that maybe in the next video. Now, the game is a space shooter, so you fly around in a UFO and you try to kill your enemies. And what I wanted to do when we built this game is to have different varieties of ships that are completely different from each other. So completely different experiences depending on what type of ship you are playing. So there's going to be 6 ships that are free to play right off the bat, and we are currently in the process of adding an additional 6 ships. And the other 6 ships are going to be a freemium type of model where people who support the game financially will be able to unlock all 6 ships at once, but for everyone else, there will always be one free ship available out of we call them Wave 2 ships, that they can play so that they don't feel like the people who paid are getting an unfair advantage. And that's really important to us. We want to make sure that the game is very well balanced and that all 12 ships are comparatively equal, where it would be very hard to show that one ship is more powerful than any other ship. And then on top of that, we are also going to have upgrades. So as you play, you will gain an in-game currency or like experience, and you'll be able to spend that experience to get an upgrade for your ship. So the longer you stay alive in the game, the more powerful you get. And just like the ships, every upgrade is going to be completely different. But unlike the ships, some of the upgrades will be more powerful than other upgrades. So why am I talking about all this video game development stuff when this is supposed to be an economics channel? Well, I'll tell you. Well, it comes down to how the game is balanced. Balancing a video game is a very complex and difficult thing to do. When it comes to building the basic ships, a lot of work went in to finding out if one ship was better than another. So given any 2 pairs of ships, they have to be equal. And let's say that you had a fast ship and a slow ship. If the slow ship has no way of outrunning the fast ship and it gets destroyed every single time, then that is obviously an imbalance that would be unacceptable in the game. And it would make the game basically unplayable if you were that ship and going up against that particular opponent. Now that's fine when you're dealing with something like 12 ships. I can go through and I can check every single combination of ship versus ship, or I can collect data on finding out, well, when one ship has an advantage over another, and I can balance them or tweak them. But as soon as you get into upgrades, this becomes much more difficult because people can become very creative with how they use their upgrades, and basically you can combine upgrades to make combos. And so no matter how much I try to balance this game, if you add in the upgrades and you consider all the different combinations that will be possible, especially like, I don't know how many upgrades this game might have when it's done. It might have 100 different upgrades for the ships. So how am I supposed to balance 100 different upgrades? It would be really hard to do that, and it would also make for a very boring game. I would have to make sure that all the upgrades are comparable, and it would be, well, it would be boring, right? It wouldn't be as fun. You wouldn't be able to feel like you are customizing your ship as much if all the upgrades were kind of similar to each other to make it easy to balance. So if I want to give people the ability to customize their ships, I have to account for the fact that the game may break in the future when someone finds an exploit that makes a certain combination of upgrades combined with certain strategies, which is unfairly superior compared with other strategies. And if I were to come in and nerf that strategy, then it might break the game in other ways. Like, I come in and I nerf a particular upgrade. Well, other people who rely on that upgrade that are not taking advantage of the specific exploit that I'm trying to nerf will now be at a disadvantage. And now I've basically broken the game because that upgrade is completely useless now, and I might as well just not have it at all. So I thought to myself, how am I going to solve this problem? And I thought long and hard about this, and the answer I came up with was, why not just let the free market decide which upgrades are overpowering? Yeah, I wasn't joking when I said that I believe in the free market. So the way that this is going to work is that you will gain in-game currency by defeating other players, and then you will be able to spend your in-game currency to upgrade your ship. In other words, you buy upgrades. Now behind the scenes, there is going to be an artificial intelligence monopolist acting as an arms dealer. And what is the goal of a monopolist? What is the goal of any capitalist? It is to maximize profits. So given the fact that this seller, this artificial intelligence marketer, has a monopoly on dealing arms, they have to maximize profits, and the way that they do that is using the laws of supply and demand. Now technically the supply of each upgrade is infinite, but the demand is obviously based on the market. It's based on what players choose. So if a player is choosing one upgrade more than another, then that means that that particular upgrade is in demand, and that means that the price should go up. But why not just make everything super expensive? Because just like any monopolist, if you overcharge your customers, you'll actually end up making less money because fewer people will buy your products because they don't have infinite money. People have to work for that money, and if they die before they're able to spend it, then that money is lost forever. So there's an incentive for the monopolist to sell things at a lower price, even when those sales would cannibalize sales of more expensive commodities. So all of this makes for some interesting gameplay, but another byproduct of it is that it auto-balances the game. So once this is set up, I will never need to balance the game, and in fact, I can come in and just add new upgrades, and some of the upgrades could be super powerful and some of them might be completely weak, and it really doesn't matter. So I find this super interesting, and I'm really excited about getting these economic models built into this video game. And it also kind of feels good that the kids who play this game will get to see economics in action and hopefully learn something from it. I find it incredibly tragic that economics is one of the subjects that seems to be missing from a lot of elementary curriculums. Well, then again, maybe not, because if it were government schools teaching economics to children, I'm sure the lesson would be about what the government can do to improve the economy. Well, I'm sure all my subscribers know the answer to that. Say it with me, kids. Quit meddling with it. I digress. Now, this is really my first big video game, and it's not like I worked in the video game industry for years and I'm coming at this with a load full of experience. I'm kind of learning as I go. But I'm finding that my background in economics has helped me in other ways, aside from just balancing the game. In fact, it's helped me decide how to monetize this game. A great deal of web games use in-game ads in order to monetize themselves. But I was thinking about it, and how am I going to get the initial batch of users? Now, I already have quite a few people who are playing this game or following it. I was really involved with another game several months ago, and I made a lot of YouTube videos on my other YouTube channel, and I got a lot of subscribers, and I was very engaged with the community. I made friends, and so I've carried a lot of the fans and friends from the other game that I was playing over to this one. But I mean, we're just talking about a couple hundred people. My YouTube channel has 308 subscribers. That's my gaming YouTube channel, Bizork. It experienced probably about 180 new subscribers since February or January when I started posting more videos. The channel, I think, is about 10 years old now, maybe 11 years old now. So it is relatively active and it has experienced a great deal of growth, but I mean, we're talking about, hundreds of people. And for this game to be a success, I need to be reaching out to tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people to play the game and hopefully to buy the Wave 2 ships, skins, and whatever else the game is selling. Or suppose I were monetized with ads, I would need a lot of traffic in order for this game to be profitable. So as sad as this is to say, a few hundred people just aren't going to cut it. I need to be reaching much, much larger audiences. Now there are really two ways that I am planning on reaching this goal. The first is through viral marketing, and there are things that we can do to increase our chances of success, to get more people sharing our game, blogging about it, making Let's Play videos. And one of my advantages in this area over maybe some other indie game developers is that I'm not just a programmer, I'm an entrepreneur. I come from an entrepreneurial background. And so I know how to hustle and I know how to get this done. But viral marketing can be hit or miss. So, I mean, it really depends on a lot of factors. Like, it depends on other people. I have to depend on the fact that someone else is going to do a blog about my game and that they're going to share it and that they're going to leave positive remarks and that it's going to have a call to action to get people to come play it. And really the best person to advertise this game is me, because I'm the creator and I'm passionate about it and I believe in it and I know it's going to be the best game ever. And so a surefire way to advertise this game is by paying for advertising. So I can advertise through YouTube, Facebook, and Google and all kinds of other platforms. Now, usually I am critical of advertising because, just like, Elon Musk would say, advertising doesn't actually make your product better, but sadly it does cost a lot of money. That being said, advertising works. It works 100%. And I think that the number one fear that I have with this game is that people will not know about it. Okay, because there are a lot of games out there that get almost no sales. And some of them are not bad games, but they just don't have a lot of people who know about them. And like sometimes I will find out about a game that was released 10 years ago and it was the best game ever and I would have bought it 10 years ago had I known about it. Well, that was a lost sale as a result of that game not being advertised to me. That being said, I use an ad block, so even if it was advertised, I would not have seen the ad. But my point is that even if the cost for getting new users is high through advertising, that is probably the best way to guarantee that this game reaches the most number of players. And then once it's reached an enormous number of players, then certain things like viral marketing techniques will be even more effective. So that's my thought process. And so my goal would be to advertise my game in hopefully Google ads on other similar web games. But let's talk about the economics of that. Basically, they are effectively selling me their users. So if they have an ad for my game in their game, then I'm basically buying users from another game developer. It sounds weird, doesn't it? Like, you build a video game and then you monetize that game by selling your players to another game. And then how is that other game monetized? Like, how do I monetize my game? Should I put ads in my game? Well, if I did that, then another game developer could just advertise in my game, and then I would be selling the players I just bought at the exact same price that I bought them for to another game developer. Don't you see the problem with this? It's basically like one of those free energy machines. So like, who's the big winner if I'm showing ads in my game and I'm getting my players through advertising in other games? Well, the only winner here is the advertisers. Both games lose money. Now, this is making the assumption that the only ads being shown are video game ads, and it's possible that the ads in my video game will be Coca-Cola or McDonald's. Well, if that's the case, then how does my game really make money? I am basically selling McDonald's or Coca-Cola. So I'm paying money to gather a bunch of users from somewhere else, probably from some other game, to come over to my website where they can be served Coca-Cola and McDonald's ads, instead of them seeing those ads on another web page. And then at every step of the way in this very complex transaction, Google has their hands in everyone's pockets to take their cut for delivering the ads. And then on top of that, any sales that Coca-Cola or McDonald's or any of my other advertisers are going to get, well, I'm only going to get a small fraction of the money that they make from that. Obviously, they are not going to be giving me more money than they make. So this seems like a very inefficient system, and I've thought about it a great deal. And I thought, like, why not just sell my own product? It's a little bit more work, but I get a bigger piece of the pie. So that's what I'm doing right now, and Saucers.space will pretty much never have any ads in it unless the number of new players I'm getting starts to fall and my expenses get too high. And that's really the worst case scenario, because I have a monthly cost of running the servers and so on. It starts to get very expensive. And if new money isn't coming in, I have to have some way of paying for the servers. So let's say, 5 years from now, the game doesn't have as many users because maybe I've moved on to the next project and other people are playing my other games. Then maybe at that point, I can start putting some ads in the game. But if I am running another video game at that point, more than likely, I will just advertise my own games and keep people within my own network. Now, one of the questions you might have is whether that would cannibalize my sales. And the answer is yes. If I'm taking traffic away from one game and bringing it to another game, that does cannibalize the sales of the first game. But that's okay, because if somebody is going to be playing 2 different games, I would rather them be playing 2 of my games instead of 1 of my games and 1 of someone else's game. So this is a way of taking players who are currently participating in other game networks and bringing them over to my game network to play. Even if Saucers.space doesn't make a lot of money, that'll be okay. I think it'll be a success as long as it gets players, because I know that there is great value for having those people participating in your network. That being said, it would be nice if it made money. It would be nice if it made a lot of money. I really did forego a lot of other opportunities in order to work on this game. And by the way, I was saying this in one of the game dev Discord servers. I think game development is a great field to be an entrepreneur in. It is largely underregulated compared with other industries. It is an absolutely massive industry that is largely run by a few companies who are just raking in wheelbarrows full of money. And yet the tools for making video games are so readily available. This industry is ripe for disruption. And I'm sure not everyone would understand this, but I'm thinking a lot bigger than just this one game. I think it's possible to disrupt this industry fundamentally and to shake it down. I really want to see how far I can take this. I think if my game dev studio does well, Ubisoft and EA better watch their backs. Anyways, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll be able to make more videos soon. Bye bye.